Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonlit Lioness Stargazing Sunday. This is for the week of August 23rd to August 29th, and this week we've got the full moon lunar eclipse, so it's very exciting. Let me go ahead and share my notes. There we go. So I think AI and I are about to break up because for some reason, it just cannot generate the moon phases the way I want. And, I don't know. It's just almost easier to make it myself. Now I'm spending more time trying to get it to do what I want it. I mean, just a simple, please put the entry time for when the moon enters into Aquarius. It can't do the simple stuff. And, the moon phases over and over again. I was trying to say, I've given it all the moon phases. Please put this one here, this one here, this one here, and it just can't seem to do it. So I don't know. I think we're breaking up. But anyway, so you're going to find these a lot simpler this week because I told it take all the words off and just put on what I'm telling you. And that's that. But this particular slide here, the very first one, is the hardest one to do. Anyway, let's move on here and stop talking about my experience. So as you can see at a glance, for the week of August 23rd through August 29th, we are getting into a full moon. We've got the waxing gibbous here, and it's starting on the 23rd today, in a moon in Capricorn. And see, it says moon in Capricorn, moon in Capricorn, moon in Aquarius. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop now. But anyway, so the moon starts out in Capricorn, goes to Aquarius, and then it moves into Pisces by the end of the week. And that is where our lunar eclipse is. Our lunar eclipse is in Pisces. Okay. And I will talk about more when I get to that particular slide. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's about discipline, setting your goals and going after them, being responsible, having your boundaries, being very practical and goal-oriented. And then Aquarius is more about being innovative and independent, future-focused, visionary are other aspects of Aquarius. And then Pisces, where our full moon eclipse, that's about being intuitive and compassionate, kind of merging with the divine, merging with the world around you. It's when you go into that state of meditation, or that state when you're ready to deal it, your tarot cards, a prayerful state that's governed with Pisces. So we have dreamy, and that's also very creative. Okay, so those are the energies that we're dealing with this week, that we are utilizing, or we are having. And then if we go down to the bottom, I took out also because the ongoing planetary aspects. So we have ongoing planetary aspects. The mini trine of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, is still happening. And then we have an aspect. We have a trine and a sextile aspect from Chiron to the nodes. So that's ongoing as well. And I talked about that. If you want to know more about that, you can watch my last Stargazing Sunday, and I talked some about that. And you can go to the chapters. I put chapters or sections. I section my videos so that you can look at each piece more easily and not have to watch. It's easy to find what you're looking for, so you can go back and find it if you want to look at that. Okay, so the planetary aspects for this week, we've got a Sun trine Chiron, and then on Tuesday we've got the Mercury entering Virgo, and then also trining Chiron, and then on Thursday we've got Mercury in a conjunction to the Sun. It's making a conjunction to the Sun, so we call that a Mercury Kazimi, when it gets right into the heart of the Sun. And then on Friday we have our eclipse. Okay, so Mercury is very active this week, right? You can see here in the overview that, it's entering Virgo, which is it's the sign that it rules, its domicile, its rulership, its home. And then it's trining Chiron, and then it's conjuncting the Sun. Okay, let's move on to looking at each planetary aspect more specifically. Okay, so right now on today, Sunday, we've got the sun in Virgo, which is shown right here in a trine to Chiron. And as you can see, what I was talking about, Chiron is an aspect to the nodes. So I left the nodes on here so you can see that. So we've got our south node in Leo, and it's about letting go of needing validation, letting go of wanting to be seen, letting go of those Leo qualities that may no longer serve. And then Aquarius is more about the collective. It's about doing with others. It's about being innovative. It's about being, those uh, words that we talked about and when I was reading through the Aquarius, new technology and things like that. And Chiron here, because of the aspect, it is, Chiron is our how we see ourselves, possibly. Taurus can be our body, our image, our self-value. It can be our personal finances. So there may be wounds around those things. I don't like the way I look, or I spend too much, or I don't have enough, or there can be something around finances. So uh, you know what we're doing now is letting go of things regarding ego, and that also overlaps with what I just talked about, those Chiron and Taurus themes, in order to move forward and serve and be more of service to the community, the collective, society, and so on. Okay, so that's kind of what that energy is showing right there. Okay, so let's look at the cards that are involved with this. So we actually have a Sun in Virgo card, and it is the Eight of Pentacles. So you can see here, Sun in Virgo is very much, you're working on things. You're working on making improvements, and Virgo is very much about improving process. So that's what this card is showing. It's showing, he's working at something, working at something, working at something. And then with the trine, that's the triangle here, trine to Chiron. There are too many cards showing Chiron with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords, and what was the other one? Oh, the Hierophant. But since Chiron is in Taurus, and Taurus is the Hierophant, it kind of helps a little bit. But so I just decided to show the Three of Swords for Chiron, the wounded healer. So it's where you receive a wound and then you learn how to heal yourself and then turn around and teach others and heal others. So what we've got here is you can kind of see through the imagery, we're kind of working on, healing old wounds so we can teach others, that they're coming together in this aspect, right? While the sun is, so the sun moves 1 degree a day, so it's going to move away from this. So it's a momentary aspect that kind of hits a point and gets you to say, oh, and with Mercury nearby, and you'll see that in the next slide, it does affect your thinking. So let's go on to Tuesday, August 25th, and here you can see there's Mercury here. So you've got the same, this kind of builds this week, so I thought I would go ahead and show it that way. We've got Mercury added to the aspects now. Mercury is right here next to the sun. It's conjunct the sun, approaching, getting ready to make that Kazimi, or that conjunction with the sun. So what we see here is Mercury in Virgo, which we do have a card for that. Mercury in Virgo is the Ten of Pentacles. And you can see how Mercury is that energy of industriousness, thinking. It's not only thinking and communication, but it's also, it rules, it's the third house. It's like interacting with, it's commerce, right? So it's interacting with other people, making trades, so it's not only trading thoughts, it's trading things. and commerce and things like that. So through that, you can build wealth. And, that's kind of what I guess the card is reflecting, is that process improvement and working on that interaction with others, learning how to trade, uh, um, and things like that. So this particular Mercury also moves fast like the sun, so it's only going to be there, for today, for this day, Tuesday, and it's in a trine to Chiron. So first the sun hits it, and then it's kind of like making you spiritually receptive to the idea, because the sun is kind of like your spirit, right? And it's making you receptive to the idea of, oh, I've got these old issues or problems, that I think about that bother me about myself or whatever. And then you move on, and the next day Mercury hits it. So it kind of goes from you being opening up your mind and yourself spiritually, to then thinking about it, because the Mercury trine happens Tuesday. So let me go back. So Sunday, you've got the sun trining Chiron and creating, working on it, opening yourself up to thinking about it. And then Tuesday, you've got Mercury trine Chiron. So now you're like actively thinking about it, and maybe even starting to plan or do something or make some adjustments and things like that. So there'll be conversations, realizations concerning that Chiron and Taurus situation for yourself, right? And also, I didn't mention, but with the sun in Virgo there, the sun has been kind of put on a new outfit. It's left the Leo, and the Leo out, it's shedded its Leo outfit and it's put on the Virgo outfit. And with Virgo, it's all kind of discerning, and you got those Virgo eyes, and you're examining everything. And so one of the things you're examining is this Chiron and Taurus aspect, which could be something about yourself, or it could be actually, it could be something about, something larger than yourself. So, it depends on your situation, but that's kind of the flow of what's going on. So let me get back here now. So moving on to Thursday, we've got, now I've added on Uranus. You've got Mercury and the sun making a conjunction right here. Okay, that's that Kazimi we talked about. And then they're not only in conjunct with each other, but they're squaring Uranus. That's all happening in a short period of time. Okay, so that all this energy is happening all at once. You've got Mercury conjunct the sun, and then you've got this square. So let's first look at Mercury conjunct the sun. With Mercury conjunct the sun, you've got like this momentary insight. So, here's the Mercury in Virgo and the sun in Virgo, right? And they're coming together, they're fusing their energies. And so what the card doesn't really show, it doesn't show the intellectual process that's going on with Mercury, but that is the case. You've got this ability. If you remember, Mercury in tarot, also the major arcana is the magician, right? So he can manifest, right? He takes what is coming to him mentally, and he's able to build it out physically, right? Manifesting. So, if you think about it that way, it kind of helps bring in that intellectual component of this conjunction, where you're going to get very likely an insight. So pay attention to your thoughts on Thursday, because there's going to be an insight, and it probably is going to be related to, so you got a square to Uranus and Gemini, and there's no Uranus and Gemini card. So here we've got a square, which is a challenging aspect. It's an obstacle. It's a challenge, that you have to work on. So Uranus, what is Uranus? It's shock, surprises. It rules Aquarius. So it can take on some of those characteristics as well, like individuality, uniqueness. Can be systems and technology. So you've got like a new change, like a change or something happening abruptly that in Gemini. So maybe like something about a conversation, because Gemini is loft, or it could be just a thought that comes to you, right? All of a sudden, a new innovative idea. Um, but the challenge here is actually, it is a square, but the interesting thing is that they're both ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo and it also rules Gemini. So that helps them work together much better. That Uranus is in reception to Mercury here, being the ruler of Gemini. So even though it is a square, a little bit of a challenge, I don't think it's going to really be that big of a deal. So what I think is that mostly this is just going to be about gaining an epiphany, an aha moment, but through conversation or just through your own meditation or just, being in your thoughts. So that's kind of how I see that playing out for Thursday, August 27th. And then the big day, Friday, da 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 da. On Friday, we have our full moon lunar eclipse. And I don't have the time on here. I was supposed to have the times, and then I just got frustrated and I said, take it all off. So I don't have the exact time. You'll have to look that up yourself to see what time it is in your time zone. But it is the interesting thing about this eclipse, and if you look over here at the chart, is that you got this T square, and I did a separate video on it because I just found it very fascinating. So you've got Mercury, who was just in Kazimi with the sun, so that energy is still there, so you got this intellectual energy still happening, information, announcements, and things like that, and it's ruling Uranus, which it's square to. And it's also, Uranus also happens to be in square to the moon that's opposite the sun because that's what a full moon is. So with this T square, we call this a T square, which is what I call it here. There is certainly full moons shine the light on things, right? They're bright and they shine light on things. So it looks to me like maybe you'll, have like a shocking thing said in a conversation, or you'll have like a realization, or you'll come across some information going through the internet that shocks you. Or, what I'm going to get at on the world stage is what this could mean on a national level or international level. But the other thing too is I want to talk about one of the things we want to look at is what rules the moon. And with the moon being in Pisces, first I want to talk about the moon in Pisces. Pisces is a watery sign. It's dreamy. It's it doesn't have the boundaries. Saturn has the boundaries. Pisces is like boundless. And so it's ruled by Neptune, where there's a lot of depth. And so secrets can be hidden down in the depths. And so, now we've got a moon shining the light on these hidden depths. And so things that weren't known before are going to become known, right? In a shocking sort of way and through information. So that can happen on your own personal level. It can also happen on a national level. What kind of things? Well, if you look at the rulership, that's where you look at the rulership of the moon. So the moon in Pisces in traditional is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Leo. So Leo is governments. So on a personal level, Leo is it's your ego, it's your heart, it's it's acting and drama. So something might play out somewhat dramatically in your own personal life, or it could represent something about your father, because Jupiter can be your father, and with Leo, which is ruled by the sun, that also there's a little overlap there regarding you know, a male figure, a father, something like that. Okay, so it could have something to do with that, maybe. It doesn't have to. The other ruler is the modern ruler, which is Neptune. Like I said, Neptune is associated with Pisces. So if we look at where Neptune is in Aries, and Aries is, you know, as far as Neptune, which is like illusions, or spirituality. Um, so it can be, well, on a grand scale, it's, you know, Aries is military. So it could be something hidden in our military, and I should be getting to this on the world stage, but on your personal level, it could be something, maybe it's, I'm trying to come up with an idea of how to describe that, but maybe you have a dream, you know, maybe you're going to have something could pop, bubble up in a dream for you that is Aries related. You know, it's about taking initiative. It's about, you know, Aries rules being independent, taking initiative, uh, being bold, courageous. It's militarist. It can be militaristic, impulsive sometimes, athletic. Um, you know, and I don't know. I'm not real good at coming. I need to have lists of these, of what areas that are ruled, because there's lots of different areas, but that's the general idea of what Neptune. So, you know, maybe dreams. You might want to, maybe a lot of people have certain types of dreams going on around this eclipse. Okay. So you get the idea. There's going to be something shocking coming up, bubbling up, I think, from the depths. Okay, so let's go over and get to the tarot and the tarot imagery for this. So we've got the Sun and Mercury. Here's the Sun and Mercury, as we saw on the last slide, the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. And then we've got it in opposition to the Moon in Pisces. So the High Priestess is the Moon card. So the moon is your subconscious. It's the, you know, it's what's behind the veil, and that's why they use this card the way it is. You know, it's hard to access our subconscious sometimes. And then the moon itself is a Pisces card, the moon card. So it's a little confusing, but the moon card in tarot is actually representative of Pisces, which again is accessing your subconscious, and how it can be a little bit like unusual. You know, I guess the best example I have is, you know, if somebody takes ayahuasca and they access their subconscious, you know, it can be kind of a trippy experience. And I guess that's kind of what I think of when I see that card. So that is the energy. So you can see how the full moon here looks like, you know, something's going to bubble up that has been hidden, right? It just kind of has that look to it in the cards. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. And then the square gives you more information. This, it tells like, this is a part of this full moon eclipse. And the square is Uranus, the full is Uranus. And, so the signs that they have up here are backwards. There's this Uranus symbol should be over the Fool card, and the Gemini symbol should be over the Lovers card, because the Lovers is Gemini. Okay, so so yeah, like something new, something different in the realm of communications and interactions and things like that. Okay, that's definitely a part of this experience. All right. So that's kind of a flavor of the full moon and how it looks with the tarot. This is this week in tarot, right? Okay. On the world stage, the last part, there's an ongoing process of our governments shifting focus from power for themselves, that's the South Node in Leo, to service of the collective, or to the collective, that's the North Node in Aquarius. So that's kind of what that axis is bringing us. If I go back and look, you can see the South Node in Leo, the North Node in Aquarius. So we personally are feeling that, but it's impacting our governments, which are made up of people, as well. And so there's more of an emphasis on serving people and society rather than serving ourselves. This is being done through ongoing focus and examination of what no longer serves in our systems and resources, which is reflected in that Chiron and Taurus aspecting the nodes, and improving them through ongoing communication and innovation. And that's shown this week with that Uranus and Gemini aspect going on with the sun. The week culminates on Friday with a full moon in Pisces, which may reveal secrets, which we just talked about. Pisces rules deep things that are deep down, you know. So regarding our governments, because Jupiter is in Leo, or things governments are releasing. It also may reveal where we've been deceived regarding wars or war-related things like psyops. Right. So yes, Neptune is also deception. So going back to here, in your personal life, I said dreams. Neptune rules the moon, the full moon, and it's in Aries, and it can be dreams. It can also be deception. So there could be a possibility of something that's been hidden coming up, you know, this week for you, in your life. It could be coming up. It could be somebody telling you something, or it could be something you just discover on your own. But yeah, something hidden, some deception, right? So that's possible. It's not, it doesn't mean it has to be. It just is a possibility. Okay, people overall will be releasing or adjusting old belief systems, okay? Because Jupiter right now, which kind of, it rules belief systems, religion belief systems, it's approaching the south node of Leo. So it's about us kind of letting go of that rigidity of this is my belief, and being more flexible and kind of realizing, you know, that it's not as important as we think, and that we, you know, we can have our own individualized belief and it's okay. And we can all still get along. Right. So, and we really need that right now, because there's like these clashes going on with, like, I don't know if anybody's heard about Dearborn, but Dearborn, Michigan, there's big clashes going on with people really rebelling against the Muslim influence there. So it's interesting. It's kind of showing up in that way. Okay, so that is the week for August 23rd through August 29th. And since I believe my my time has been a little shorter, I miss doing reads. So especially since we're having an eclipse this week, I thought I'd go ahead and do a quick 7-card spread, pyramid spread on the eclipse. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. May I please have the energies for this week? And what's going to be going on this week? All right. All right, so past, Two of Pentacles, present, Ace of Wands, future, the Emperor, hidden influence, Six of Wands, advice, Two of Cups, Six of Cups, and outcome, strength. Okay, so yeah, I think it very much reflects what I've been talking about. So we've got the Two of Pentacles in the past, which shows kind of dealing with, it's like things aren't completely stable, right? So there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and this instability leads to the present moment, where it's like, you know how I said something may come to you in insight, may come to you this week because of the Mercury Kazimi. That very much looks like a Mercury Kazimi kind of moment, right? So you got this Ace of Wands, aha kind of thing where, you know, you get an idea and it kind of helps you move forward. It helps you adjust things, you know, for the better. And then, yeah, so this shows you that. So you've got the Emperor here, which also rules Aries. Neptune is in Aries. But you've got the Emperor in the future. So it's kind of showing how this idea is helping you manage your own life better, right? So be more independent and manage your own life better. And then you've got this hidden influence of Six of Wands. So it's, yeah, it's getting you out of a situation where you're kind of maybe going back and forth between two ideas or two things, and it stabilizes you. So this week you should get an idea. You hopefully will get an idea that stabilizes you. That's what it looks like in the cards. So what's the advice? The advice is all cups here. So you've got the Two of Cups, which can be this idea or this information can come to you through a loved one, a good friend, you know, so because you've got a partner here. So that is the likely situation for this. So maybe on social media, somebody will send you something, you know, it doesn't have to be in person physically. And then you got the Six of Cups. Yeah. So like, it's like a friend helping out. So, you know, make sure you're out there or at least on the internet socializing with your friends, because it's going to gym up or generate these things, these ideas that are going to help you get a better grip on your own life, right? So that's what this shows. And then here you've got the Strength card. So the outcome is you're stronger for it, right? You're stronger and all the better for it. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the read, and I look forward to this week. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm trying to stop my camera. There we go. I think it's going to be an interesting week with the deception possibility with Pisces, right? You know, so you got full moon in Pisces, so secrets coming out, and then the shocking announcement with the Uranus square to the T square. I think it could be an interesting week. We'll have to wait and see, especially on the world stage. So, but for us personally, it looks like the big thing is going to be good, obtaining good information through our interactions with others that are going to help us be in a better place. So that's the overall energy for my viewers and for who's watching. So I think that's going to be great for us. But on the world stage, it might be quite dramatic. So we'll have to, yeah, see how that turns out. And next time, you know, maybe if I remember, I can say something about it in the next interview for next Stargazing Sunday. So, okay. Well, everyone take care and have a wonderful week. And please be sure to watch Wednesday Pulse, Stargazing Sunday. Check out my friend Tarot by Lupo. He's got a lot of exciting things coming up. You know, he does his normal zodiac spread, but he's also going to be he's told me he's got some things coming up where he's going to be doing an interview with someone, and he's going to be maybe doing another show. So he's got a lot of exciting things coming up too. So, all right, y'all take care and have a wonderful week.